Good morning, Sean here, Mountains Garage. Mother Nature decided we needed a change of routine and maybe a little bit of exercise today. I woke up to a winter wonderland this morning. And instead of headed down to the shop to work, I gotta do a little snow removal. It's about knee high at the street. It's only 4 or 5 inches on the ground. So my routine, I have to hand shovel this porch, and I make an L in front of the garage doors so I can back drag. It is pretty. Hang on, poor little tree. It's going to be 40 degrees today, so that's why I got to move the snow so it'll melt down the pavement. So I have to shovel in front of the shop door out so I can get it with the blade. I didn't plug the tractor in last night. I knew it was going to snow, but it is 27 degrees out for a Maine winter. That's a warm storm. Sometimes, if it's in the teens or below, I'll plug it in. It'll start hard, it'll complain, but it'll still run. Let's give it a shot. She started, let's warm her up a little bit. I plow at 1800. Now we gotta V our way to the street. Plow in V mode. Headed up the hills. The 4-way's on for the street operations. Kind of foggy in here. Plowing down the hill is always fun. Can't get stuck going downhill. Driveway done. 4-ways on again to go back out on the road to the other driveway. At least the windshield cleared up a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Well, I try to stay off the lawn. Yeah. Back dragging in front of the house, you gotta be careful not to hit the house. This is why I shoveled out the V. I should probably put the camera down, but I'm a trained professional. Now head back down the hill. That's the big shot. Again, try not to hit the house. You can see what I'm doing with that. Yeah. It's kind of... Nothing makes you more mad than when you actually hit something. You could have shoveled it really easy, but you really want to get as close as you can. Got a good snoopful here. It's always fun. The chains make you invincible. So the last storm rained and froze. It's nothing but ice underneath. Kind of a hazard. Back in the barn, I tilt it back and only set the plow on its tips. So if it wants to freeze in, it can't. I put a lot of stone underneath there. I had a water problem the first couple of years I had the hut here. And the blade would freeze into the ground. That's a problem. So other than a little bit of hand shoveling, I try to make it easy on myself, without wiping my license plates off my trucks. But it's a winter wonderland out here. The tractor is a Mahindra 6010 Turbo, 2011. So it's 10 years old. It's just going to turn 300 hours, probably the next storm. I didn't look at the dash. It was 290 something. 270 of that's probably snow removal. A lot of back and forth. This setup works awesome. The plow is a 9.5 foot Fisher stainless V. I built a quick attach plate. I wanted the hinge point under the tractor because with a setback front axle, I'm still out a long ways, which gives me the awesome ability to stack snow. And I plumbed up a remote so the handle's next to my seat, and I can go V straight or scoop. I do not angle because the tractor's pretty light on the back even with the backhoe, and it just kicks you sideways. So angle is not something I need. I V up the middle and then I scoop everything. Except when I'm back dragging, I put it straight. I plumbed in a cushion valve in case I hit something. It should go over relief. And the whole setup drops off the tractor in a matter of seconds. Unless it's cold, and the quick couplers don't work that well. But around freezing, they work pretty good. But this shed is 20 feet long, and I'm sticking out even in V. So you get used to the backhoe sticking off the back. I've only had a couple instances where I hit something, but for the most part, it's not an issue, and it provides a lot of traction on the rear tires. I've only chained the front. The rear tires are too close to the body. I think the chains would probably ruin the fenders, and it's not necessary. If I'm careful not to break the front end, because you can see it's the small guy of the group. But if you careful, it's a hydrostatic tractor. Just kind of ease into forward and reverse. I haven't heard it in 4 or 5 years now, so I don't want to break it, so I'm really nice to it. Without it, the tires spun more, and I think it was actually harder than having chains on the tractor. Because every time you go into a bank, the one tire or the other on the front would be spinning. Now they don't. I just kind of ease into it. You can hear it pull the engine down, and you're done. Back up. I have a bunch of these guide stakes I drive in the fall to warn me of hazards. Now I'm lucky these days. I used to have to do this in the middle of the night, or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, so I could get to work. Now I work at home, so I can do it when the sun comes up. I don't do a lot of winter operations unless they're calling for a lot of snow. All right, that whole process took about an hour and a half. Now it's time for breakfast, some remote learning, and maybe I'll make it to the shop in the afternoon. If the tractor has a quirk, it's at that radio station is 80s. It's the only station that comes in. So, it's a different brake. I don't mind it. I grew up in the 80s, so a bit of a change from I normally listen to old rock and roll or old country, but I get the 80s when I'm plowing. What are you gonna do? Have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.